Hi, and welcome to my channel. Um, we'll get started on the world making here. So the idea is that we are going to be making a forever world. Let's name it. I don't know. Home. And I'll be recording every bit of the world. It's not gonna be hardcore because you know I think I am in the camp of I think it's stupid if we are if you just die and lose everything. Fix the map here. Where's this? Um, and so yeah, this is going to be our world. Um, So I've always wanted to make a survival world, and or a forever world rather. All those YouTube videos where it's like, um, make a forever world and stick with it. And I've never really, had the time to do it, which I find is a bit of an excuse. And find that I also really need to journal, and um, journaling isn't really, my forte. I'd rather not sit and write, and because I find I honestly, my hands just get tired. I get lazy, and that's not a great thing. But I still need somewhere to, talk about things. And so this channel is going to be my solution for that. Maybe someone who knows me will find this, and it's going to be really awkward when I meet them next. But it is what it is. So we're gonna quickly um mine this whole tree because I'm not. I'm living here forever, man. I'm not trying to leave behind all these trees. But yeah, are my shaders on? I can't tell. No, they're not. Let's see if that lags everything out. Holy, what a beautiful world. So yeah, I guess we can start with today's what I'm talking about today, which it's gonna we're gonna get started in the world, and I'm gonna talk about uh, I guess just the purpose of this channel and all that. And rules I'm going to set for myself. Of course, we're gonna. Oh, one of the main goals is I'm going to try and practice my building. I've always also wanted to become better at building this game. That's my zoom button. And so, what better thing to do than allocating an hour of my day to building in Minecraft? I've also really considered creating a second channel where, or maybe just like a playlist where I post all these videos without the commentary. Perhaps I do, the spiffing Brit method of an audio track where there is no commentary, so you don't have to listen to my yapping. Yeah, um, I've always wanted to practice. So the goals are practice my building, have something I can commit to, a forever world, and um, I think those two are mainly it. And I guess have a place where I can talk my thoughts, report what I've been doing throughout the day, and that kind of stuff. So I guess today's objective will just to be get things set up. Um, but recently I've been making schedule. I've somewhat recently graduated and unemployed, of course. Um, and so I I've just been bumming around like a chud, but I've heard that, well, not heard, but I've been told, and and people say that you should create a schedule and stick to it if you want to achieve things. And part of that is I've allocated an hour every day. Hello, Mr. Skeleton. an hour every day of my life, an hour a day to record a video, maybe edit out some audio that I might dox myself with, and or dox people I know. And I think those two are the main things. I'm gonna be editing, maybe editing parts. No, I think I want to keep it minimally edited to just that. Um, I'll of course make notes to myself when I run into such a case. But yeah. So our first objective is going to be getting some stone tools, maybe some food, because it's right here. Let's get myself. I don't know what made an axe. That's awkward. Hello, Mr. Chicken. Yeah. Now that I've actually sat down and started making this, I've realized I should probably at least have a rough script of things to talk about, maybe like a podcast style. Um, I'd appreciate you know comments and comments to maybe see what people would actually want to watch. Um, though some of the uncompromisable parts are just me yapping because that's the whole purpose of this world. And I guess it's the log um, of my of the development of this world if I ever want to go back and watch it. All right. Tools. And yeah, let's find a place we can call home. Uh, so yeah, um, but back to what I was talking about my schedule. I've been making a schedule, um, and part of that is also, I'm just gonna be fully honest. I wasn't planning on doing this, but as much as he isn't my friend, Ludwig is a great teacher. I watched his Streamer University like first class, and although I don't really have aspirations to become a streamer itself, I think a lot of the stuff in that presentation can be used. Um, can be used for other things and other goals. And part of what I think I got out of it is that I can use that to um, let me make sure. Okay, there we go. Making sure that my game's let's turn that off. But a part of that is that making sure that we should get a sheep. There's a sheep over there. Making sure that you are on a schedule and you maintain the schedule, or and also make actionable goals, right? And part of the actionable goals is I want to do something that is create like that activates the creative side of my mind, and I solve that by building. The goal of this forever world is to, of course, there is the aspect of um, I get to play Minecraft and make farms, but part of it is also building because I want to get better at building, better at picking colors, better at all these things. And Minecraft, I think, is a great way to do that. I am also, in addition to this, allocating time for at least an hour of non, this like journal style of Minecraft, where I am going, where I build, and I will instead do things like drawing in a sketchbook, or maybe water painting. I've always water paint, and if you couldn't tell by now, I'm someone who suffers from ADHD, undiagnosed ADHD, but I'm like 90% sure I have it. But and so I've picked up many hobbies, like dozens of hobbies throughout my entire life, and one of those is watercolor and reading and drawing, and I've just never committed to it. So putting it in a schedule and having a dedicated time of day is going to help me do that. Um, so and another thing is that it's helped me commit to a sleeping time every day. I For the past few weeks I've just been going to bed at like 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. and waking up at like 2 p.m. And that's not only horrible for myself. I realized not big surprise, not only horrible for myself, but horrible for um my mental health, alongside my physical health. Um, and I think another motivation for making these videos is partially to get past my introvertedness, my social anxiety, perhaps, and also to help me get better at talking on the spot, just talking whatever's on my mind and letting things flow. I've tried my best so far to prevent going eyeing. That one's a classic. So if you find me going quiet sometimes, I might have just gone quiet to prevent myself from stuttering, and ended up um my ADHD making me just forget that I was supposed to be talking. We also have Voxy in this world, I believe. So yeah. I think what I'm going to do for uploading is have this entire world in a different language, where or have a different language track on this video. So if you ever feel like you just want to watch the Minecraft and not any of the yapping, feel free to switch over. I have to figure out how to do that because I'm also very new to editing and YouTube. So please let me know in the comments if uh, things that you don't like, things you liked. Like maybe I'll actually I don't know, but yeah. But this will serve mainly as an archive, a journal. Maybe like 3 people will see it. Who knows? Um, and yeah. So I guess to start off the rest of this video, I've got 45 minutes to talk, about who I am. I guess who am I, without doxing myself. That's a hard question because is it? I don't know. Um, I guess I am. I guess that if people know me and they know my username, and my skin, I guess there's no. They'll immediately know it's me, and but otherwise, I'm Kazuket. I'm an international student, and I've been studying. Well, I've studied finance and data science for a dual degree. That might have been too much doxing, but yeah, it is what it is. Um, but yeah, I've recently graduated and have spent an hour today so far, because part of that schedule I mentioned earlier was it included a section where I spent an hour dedicated to just looking for a job, um, which I think was very helpful. So if any of you are out there looking for a job or internship and you find yourself struggling, finding the time or think it's a hassle, I think setting aside an hour of just dedicated job searching is definitely the play. Um, but yeah, I've played Minecraft for um, a long time, and ever since I don't even know how old, but I have a very clear memory of um, playing on my iPad, digging out a underground maze and leading in the sheep in that pocket edition version. And I remember specifically back then the beaches had no sand. Um, the it was the programmer art. The world border was there. It was a great time. and then I kept playing through the Nether Reactor. I remember specifically the Nether Reactor, and that you could, if you reacted fast enough, you could break off the corners and get back your gold. And for those who don't know, the Nether Reactor was a block in Pocket Edition because back then the devices just couldn't support the Nether, um, because mobile phones just weren't good enough. So what they did was they put these um, they added an item called the Nether Reactor that you could craft, and when you made a formation with a Nether Reactor, obsidian, and 4 blocks of gold, you could summon like a pocket Nether box on your screen, and this would allow you to get zombified pigmen and all the and quartz and glowstone would just fall from the sky. And it was and it left this like giant netherrack structure in your world. Those were good times, and then I got myself access to a laptop. That was when I moved to Minecraft SD mode. Yes, I pirated Minecraft, but only because my parents would never buy me the game. I knew this, and it would and I wanted to play it then, and so I got into piracy because I simply couldn't afford the game. So I got Minecraft was it SP or SD? I don't remember. I think it was SD mode, and in in Minecraft SD mode, I would join all these servers and play with my friends. I would play on um, all the like Mineplex, and I don't remember, but there I would play Mega Walls, and I would play on these servers that would only allow cracked Minecraft clients to play. And I think it wasn't for another few years that I finally got actual Minecraft. Um, but this was 1.6 or 1.7, I think. It was just as the red. I think 1.6.4 was my first official Minecraft version. Um, and I remember specifically. Actually, I don't really. I just remember 1.6.4 being a version that I saw when I first got the game. Ooh, mending on those boots. Um, but yeah, that was a great time. Um, and I've always and going off of that, during that time, I always watch Stamp the household classic Let's Players, Stampy Longnose, watched the beginnings of Hermitcraft. Well, that one's a bit later, but Hermitcraft, Technoblade, the Minecraft greats, watching Captain Sparkles, watching popular MMOs play Lucky Blocks. That was part of why I loved Minecraft. Now, where was I? So we're still looking for a place to call home. We should cook some food. I'll cook some food before I keep going. And while I yap, let's see. We'll just use up planks. Yeah. And after that, I went to high school. Once I got to high school, I kind of stopped playing Minecraft. It's just my friends didn't really play it much, but I've always loved it, and this showed through again when I went to university, joined my school's Minecraft club, and um, logged hundreds of hours while also and then eventually running that server and retiring after graduated. But um, it was quite honestly time of my life, and which reminds. I guess that's a topic for another video. We can talk about it now, but I guess the topic of regret um and what if I did things differently, and that's partially why I wanted to make this, because I feel like I keep pushing back the forever world. Like one day I keep going, oh yeah, I'll do it when this thing comes out, or when I move to this new place, or oh, when I get my next computer, I'll start. But I realized the other day when in the same Ludwig second channel video where he talks about committing to something and doing it, I realized that I needed to do it today. Because if I didn't do it today, I'm never going to do it. And so, um, that's yeah, that's part of it. And um, I guess with that, um, other things I talk about. Um, Feel free to put any questions in the comments if you want me to talk about it. I honestly, if just two or three people watch this who I don't know and actually watch through, I'd feel great. But back to my yapping, I recently got the AMC A-list subscription, and so I've been watching a lot of movies. And movies are interesting because I have a friend, and he says that they help him think. They they're a way for him to you know see what it like understand what it means to feel things and to just to learn about things. And I found that was quite interesting because I myself don't really find the same thing in movies. I find that movies are good, enjoyable, and in a way they're like an escape to me. Um, Maybe it's like uh I think yeah. Um, I revel in the stories that I watch and maybe I read, um, rather, and I don't know. But I'm curious to see how other people see mediums like movies work towards how how, like is that just me that thinks that like I can't really I mentally I just can't really make the connection and it feels weird. Um, but yeah, uh, but with that A-list subscription, I've been trying to because for those of you in the United States and don't know, AMC the movie theater the they have their loyalty program called the A-list, and it's only for like $28 a month, which is equal to like one like opening night movie or like two or three like less watched movies. You can make your money back easily, and um, especially if you have the time, I think it's great to just watch one or two movies a week just to see, like one, keep up with what's happening in the world, and two, not in the world, but in the movie scene and that entire market, but also um, be able to I don't know. I'm like blanking on the words suddenly. And this is partially why I'm doing this because I think really fast of idea what I want to say really fast, and then we get to when I start talking, and when I start talking, the rate at which I'm talking to while still being understandable to other people needs to slow down. Oh, hi, Mr. Spider. To slow down, and what happens then is because I slow down as I'm talking, I'm forgetting what I was going to say in the first place, and um, I don't know. It feels it sucks. Honestly, it sucks, especially when I'm presenting or doing that kind of stuff. And so I really want to improve. And what better way to do that than talk into your microphone and play Minecraft when no one's there and try to be coherent? So let's see. I wouldn't. Let's see. Let's see. Would this place be good for a house? Oh, that's a shoreline. Oh, never mind. That's just unloaded. Uh, no, I personally don't really like the Dark Oak. At least not for my first house. This is a forever world, so we'll get around to places eventually. Maybe I should make my way back to the spawn. Um, let's head that way. Maybe I'll find something cooler that way. But I guess it's a bit on theme if I talk a bit about, finding a place to belong, I think. Which I guess to introduce it is to talk about life goals because I was talking to my friends or my friend, and we were we were talking about, I was saying that I just don't feel motivated to do anything, and he tells me that, or he when and we got to talking about the motivation about motivation and why do you do things and like meaning of life and that kind of stuff. And what I found is that for me personally, life is about finding, or at least when I was talking, we'll start. Let me rewind and talk about this about my friend, right? My Muslim friend who, as someone who, as myself who is not a very religious person, um, talking to my Muslim friend, he we talked about, like the meaning of life and you know in a religion you have you part like it's part of religion is having like a reason, right? A reason to do things, I guess, perhaps, or perhaps you believe in fate or destiny, where that that fate or destiny, or a higher being perhaps, is the reason that um you do things, and or like certain values, like to make your family, like to protect your family or like help them or all that stuff. And I felt that that this is not really on a day to day. That's just not really what drives me. It came down to what drives you, and what drives me, I feel, is finding someone to, and I know it's not healthy, um, but I don't know how to change my brain from thinking so, that I need to find someone to pine for, to go after, because at the end of the day, at least to me, what is the meaning of life other than to um, I think for me it's find happiness, and find um, I guess fulfillment, and at least to the me of now, hello me in 20 years watching this video, to the me of now, that that happiness and fulfillment is going to come from um you know I don't know what I'm trying to say with this. um Normal fern, unfortunate. I'll take the berries though. I don't know what I'm trying to get at here, but uh sorry for the rambling if you're listening. I don't even know if anyone's gonna listen to this. But we keep going on because this is making me think. Because I guess it stems from my relationships, and I guess more so my crushes. As any, you know, as any person has, or not any, that I shouldn't generalize like that, but as most people do, um, I tend to have crushes on people. I find people and I think that they're funny, they're cool, um, and I start imagining, what if uh, what would life be like if I liked this person and you know I lived to the affirmative. That those kind of thoughts, and I oh, what is that zombie? Um, and but that partially built up my worldview of the point. I feel that the point of my life is to just make enough money to have the option, like the opportunity to live, not necessarily make enough money to live lavishly. I don't. I All I need is a decent enough internet connection, electricity, roof over my head, a computer, people I care about, and that should be it. You know, and maybe even like a family and a legacy, and to be remembered, to be loved. Um, and that to me stems from finding the one, a person that I could live the rest of my life with, to live the rest of my days with, looking at them and just chilling with them. And that's partially why I struggle so much when I don't have someone I'm pining after, because when I like someone, I want to become a better person. I want to do everything I can in order to be worthy. And once again, I understand this is not necessarily healthy and nothing you should do or I should be doing. And it's hard because I have to find meaning, have to find, I don't have to find meaning, but like it's it's exponentially harder to do things and to um, and to motivate myself to do things when I feel as if there is no reason to do so. Um, and uh, this channel is, of course, not any legal advice or advice for you because I don't know your situation, but I think I know my situation, and um, it all stems down to finding a reason to go on, and not to go on, but to do things. And because right now, I don't know, the reason to get up from bed, from this Minecraft bed. Why do I need to get up in this Minecraft bed? Because I need to keep traveling, to keep finding the spot, to find the perfect build spot. And if that perfect and without purpose, without doing anything. Oh, failed to load chunk. What the heck? Surely that won't come back to bite me. Anyways, but yeah, but without to me, without that person in my life to find meaning for it, it just feels like as long as I'm alive and around for the people who care about me, then I feel listless, kind of, unmotivated to pursue any goals, to find a reason to do things, or rather not to do things, but to go out of my way. Oh, that's not good. Why can't I? Is the game gonna crash? I see the chunk that hasn't loaded, or that one hasn't loaded. Why? I can't get out of my boat. That's not good. Is the server bricked? Or rather, the server. Yep. All right, we're gonna save it real quick. Um, Yeah. Okay. Surely that fix things. But yeah, I think that going forwards, because this is the first video, it's gonna be a lot more rambling and just introduction to things. Um, it's gonna be pretty all over the place. I'll try my best to timestamp what different topics I'm talking about, but it's going to be one heck of a yapping session. Going forwards, I'm probably going to pick a singular topic in maybe like a 15-minute section at the beginning where I do a quick general recap if anything happens, because if I'm doing this every day, I won't have things to cover for every single day. And so the first um, section will be like a recap of sorts to just update things, while the rest of the video I'll be talking about certain topics, kind of podcast style. So feel free, if you to put in the comments once again if you want to see me talking about a certain topic, or have specific questions that I might answer if they aren't too doxing or bad. But yeah, what to talk about now? Maybe we can revel in the music for a minute. I spilled a fur. I think this is it. I think this is gonna be home, right over there, next to the mountain. I guess we can talk about plans for this world, like more specific ones, other than the overarching motivations that I yapped about earlier. Um, I want to, in a way, create a world of actual towns and lore and cities, like in the Ultra Hardcore Generations series. Uh, if anyone wants to check that out, it's amazing series. Oh my, look at that. But that is indeed it's a great series called UHC Generations. Um, for those who don't know, it's a ultra hardcore, so you have no natural regen, and the only way to regenerate is getting the regeneration effect or instant heal effect, I believe. And so, and the whole idea is that every time you die, you hand the world to a new person, and um, it's been handed over a few times, but it has these amazing things like a town of beginnings and all that. And um, I've been, yeah, and I looking what I want to create something like that where it's a world with with evolving things, just like that, evolving cities, and like maybe like a farm district. And I don't want any bare bones farms. That's another one. No bare bones farms. Um, at least like I can leave it temporarily bare bones, but ideally not for long. Okay, I think right here is going to be good. Be perfect. Do I have flashback? I do have flashback. I don't think I want to record flashback. I think it's at least for my time frame, or at least for smaller builds. It feels like overkill. But let's just. I'll start next session. Oh, that's a next session thing. We'll start here, right here, and then I'm gonna do this. Uh, let's just do a small starter house. Okay, starter house, and then we're gonna set up a mine. Then once we set up the mine, we are going to get geared and then set up the storage system. I think that is the order I want to do things in. All right. Let's do this. Let's just go for a nice log cabin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7. Let's. I'm thinking like let's just do good old square cabin. Oops. Because I'm kind of poop and butt cheeks when it comes to like building smaller things. Poop from a butt, I think is the saying. So I want to improve. It looks kind of bad, but we keep going. Maybe it's because I don't really have a vision for this yet. A window right here. I don't have any. I don't have torches. That's not good. For a staircase window. Like this. I'll have. Oh, it's time to go to bed. Nice tiny home. I do have oak saplings, so let's plant these outside. Okay. Bedtime. Okay, let's make a chest. And we can just dump everything in auto sort. Oh, I don't have that installed. That's awkward. I'll have to install that for our next session. And craft these nuggets into their respective ingots. Unfortunately, it's only make a door. Oh, what am I? There we go. Our humble home. Our humble home. Unfinished. Places. There we go. That's more depth. Maybe. Yeah, let's go mining. I feel like I don't have any resources. Double pickaxe. Let's grab our food. I go down the hill to start my mine. Welcome to we are mining diamonds. I'm like trying to imagine how the mine would look. I think right here is probably fine. Let's make sure our way back up is going to be clear. Copper. Said no one ever. Yeah. What else can I talk about? I should go caving instead. Let's see. I've also recently started game development. I'm currently making a idle game using Rust and EGUI. Why Rust? Because other idle games did it, and I wanted to try and see how it went. The code is, I will admit, it is vibe coded. I simply just don't want to do that. For at least for my idle game project, the idea is that it is. I draw the art and I get Claude, my good friend Claude's help, to get my vision correct or implement my vision. And so far that's been going great. On in the meantime though, because that it's just I send it a prompt, I wait a bit, and I get a reply. While I wait for that though, I am working on a game in Godot with my sibling, and we are going to, and that one is going to be completely handmade. I don't want to divulge too much in case someone vibe codes it and then beats me to the punch. So there's that. I've been keeping myself busy with that. I've started to run. I'm going to start because I've only just begun to implement the schedule today. Today's the first day of the schedule, and I'm going to be running and working out every morning, making sure I hit my protein goals, um, and watching what I eat. So I'm not eating like 4 Costella cakes a day because I felt like it. That's also another very big goal I have is to try to be healthy. It is, a year of health and all that. But tomorrow I need to make sure that I don't. I remember to try and schedule my driving license test through the driving school that I'm taking. because I was supposed to take it last month, and or I called in last month, and I was told that they would let me know what slots they would call back and let me know what slots were open around the middle of the month, and they just never called me back. And I've been putting it off because I'm whore calling people, not calling people, but calling strangers, and more specifically calling in to um, do that kind of thing. I've been getting better with like making reservations because at least that one it feels a bit more like at restaurants and such. Because I've done it enough that um, feels a lot easier now. But calling about non-reservation stuff still gets me a bit antsy, and so I try to fix that. Which I guess leads into like probably my last topic for today is introvertedness. I guess I find that I'm not like a full traditional introverted, and um, I find that when when I'm with strangers, specifically strangers and people I don't really know, rather people I haven't discerned as introverts yet, I tend to also be introverted. Um, and especially if there's an extroverted person in the group, I will tend to not say much and keep to myself. But if there is a if there is a if the whole group is introverted people or more awkward people in social settings, then I find myself that I become the extroverted of the extrovert of the introverted group. I don't know why. It's just an interesting observation that I've had, and I guess I wanted to share. Okay, I see there's iron right there. Let's see if we can make it there without dying horribly. A dog's death, if you will. I was wondering what I should title this video. Because, like, do I title it like Minecraft Journal? Because Iced, or the series? I don't think I should mention the Forever World. It could just be like a. I should bring a bed with me next time. Or bring a second bed. Are there any sheep? There are sheep nearby. I'm gonna kill the sheep, and so I can have a second bed that I move around with. Oh, sorry, sorry, little child. I need your parents' wool. I need one more wool. There we go. Right, let's see if I can make it back before night sets in. But yeah, other than that, I've been grinding away. Or back to the journal bit, I guess. Been grinding away, working on my game, working on job applications, applying to jobs, and um, trying my best to live a healthy lifestyle, while also focusing on self improvement. Not going to bed at 2 in the morning, waking up at a reasonable time, going on runs, all that. Ooh, my trees have grown. Let's just go to bed first. But yeah. All right, I think that's a good place to end off for today. as a reminder, I'm gonna repeat it to ad nauseum. Let's see here. I'm Kazucat. This is going to be my journal. I will try to have daily uploads, and I don't know who's gonna be watching this, but I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know in the comments if there are anything you want me to talk about, or just your thoughts. That should be it. Thank you.